Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. Got a great story about housing, and it is entitled Wall Street is Running Away from the Housing Market, but Why? Look, we are seeing all kinds of amazing things. Right now, Wall Street is building up massive funds using your pension money that you're really not going to get a whole lot of benefit from, except for it'll stay solvent just a little bit longer as it collapses. But they are literally trying to buy up your house, right? Because they know something most people don't, that housing is collapsing because no, this party does not last forever. It always runs every 7 to 10 years. Big crashes come every 50 to 100. We're in a 100-year cycle. And this inflation that just keeps going up, that the Fed can't seem to get on top of. And on top of that, you have wars and rumors of wars and all these crazy things happening. Banks imploding. Credit is shrinking, tightening. And things are costing you more. Like if you got good credit, now it's going to cost you more to get a mortgage. Isn't that insane? But hey, if you got bad credit or you're certain ethnic groups, hey, you can get really low rates or really low fees. All this crazy stuff that's happening in the market. Why? Because they're trying to get the dumb movie to keep money to keep pumping up the real estate, even though keep the velocity going. They know they're not going to make their payments, right? They know that, and it's okay because they're just going to take them over in this next crash. And that's why I've been trying to prepare people for this. This is really happening. Wall Street's getting away from real estate only to get ready with a bunch of money, dry powder, to slam into it and buy a ton of it up. And so you've got to be ready for this. That's why I have the real estate crash course. This is so easy to figure this out. It's going to be about 1.5 years, 2 years. So you have time to prepare, but you've got to get ready for that now. If you guys want, I'll put a discount code below for the course. Check this out. Wall Street is running away from the housing market, but why? Again, this is out of Fortune magazine. It just came out the other day. It makes sense the pandemic housing boom saw a flood of institutional home buying. Low interest rates, easy access to capital, soaring rents, and skyrocketing home values were just too good of a deal for Wall Street types like Blackstone and iBuyer, players like Open Door Technologies, to pass on. Of course, that's all over now. Institutional home buyers are pulling back fast. In fact, according to an analyst analytics conducted by John Burns Research and Consulting, institutional investors who's owning over 1,000 homes, so these are big investors, right? Bought 90% fewer homes in January and February. That is a big deal, okay? So where you saw home buying demand, you didn't know where it was coming from. You just know that your neighbor sold their house real fast. Gone. It's over. They're pulling back. They know what's happening. And at a certain point, they're going to start to sell off parts of their portfolio. When they see underperforming assets in certain locales, they're going to try and beat you to the market, all right? This is a big deal. These are the signs that you start seeing in the news headlines that give you more confidence, that puts you on a trajectory, a path to buying a ton of real estate during this crash, whereas your friends and family don't know what's going on. That's why you have to watch all of these day-to-day changes in institutional buying and selling of real estate, okay? Look no farther or further than Invitation Homes, the largest owner of U.S. single-family rental homes, which recently became net seller. Okay, now this is your competition. This is that secret buyer that's like demand. Like these are institutions you're going up with. You were competing with them trying to buy a house. Now people are about to compete with them trying to sell a house. Look at this, which recently became a net seller. In the first quarter of 2023, Invitation Homes bought 194 homes, while it sold off 297. Now, why is that? It's because these large funds understand the value of the heat map. They understand where they're researching, where people are moving from and moving to. They understand where industries are being built. They're also understanding where industries are laying people off and they're closing their doors. So they are adjusting their portfolio, okay? So they have become net sellers of homes. You now have competition. And if you think for a second, because this just happened, they went from net buying to net selling. If you think for a second this is not going to heat up in 2023, you are wrong. So there is going to be continued growth in the amount of available homes for sale, all right? What does that mean for buyers? That means that you have more competition, right? Or you have less competition. Sellers have more competition, so they're going to be more apt to lowering their prices. We've already seen prices dropping across the country right now. You go on any Zillow, any place, and you're seeing drops in prices. I live in one of the tightest markets in the country, and I see price drops, all right? Are they still selling? Yes, they are. But I'm telling you right now, there's a sucker born every day, and that's why you have time to prepare. But you the sooner you start right now and you set up a plan of how you're going to attack this real estate collapse, the better you're going to be, because you're going to be more prepared, you're going to have more money, you're going to have a better credit score, all of that stuff. You're going to want to do this now. Even if you're just wanting to buy your own home, you want to start planning this now. So you're seeing the largest buyer, or was, of single-family residential homes, your competition, now selling. Think about that. That's a jarring shift, it says. Just a year earlier, in the first quarter of 2022, Invitation Homes, which Blackstone helped to grow before divesting in 2019, bought 822 single-family homes and only sold off about 147. Think about that. So you went from literally buying 822 and selling 147 to now buying 194 and selling 297. That is a massive seismic shift in the way these massive institutions, we're talking about the biggest one in single-family home buying, are moving right now. Now it says Invitation Homes, which owns 83,000 single-family homes, is no longer on a buying spree. And it shows the chart. It's a great chart, but it says here this: why are institutional investors like Invitation Homes, which has amassed a portfolio of over 83,000 single-family homes, pulling back so quickly from the U.S. housing market? Well, the reason: the financial return on each additional home added just isn't great enough now after factoring interest rates, home prices, and rents. Plus, some big investors think that national home prices, despite jumping a bit this spring, always dead cat bounce, dumb money moving in, and what did it take? It took places like California offering you a free down payment of 20%. The government, finding the dumb money and saying, we'll give you a benefit for being dumb and not having a good credit score. We'll give you a bonus. It took that kind of stuff. All these things. Oh, let's go from a 30-year fixed mortgage to a 40-year so we can lower the payments a couple $100. They're trying to juice the markets, and it's just not there. And the institutional money, the smart money, isn't buying it. Think about this. You need to think like an institution. That's what I teach in the real estate crash course. You've got to think like the big money to make big money. Now, here's a great quote. We're pretty much on pause across all home buying strategies. Tejas Josai, director of single-family residential at Yield Street, which owns over 700 single-family homes, recently told Fortune, I don't think prices have bottomed yet. On average, we have another 5% decline nationally. I'm going to be honest, I think we're going to have much bigger than a 5% decline, but even if we had just a 5% decline nationally, that's greater than the national drop during the Great Recession, okay? So that would still put us way worse than the Great Recession. And imagine what it's going to be like in locales like in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Miami, Phoenix, Austin. You're talking about huge price declines, okay? All right. Through the first quarter, Joshi says Yield Street has yet to buy a single home in 2023. That's despite the fact that Yield Street would like to grow its single-family home portfolio from its value right now of around $200 million value to $1.5 billion over the next 5 years. Yeah, that's exactly what they want to do. They haven't bought a single home this year. That should tell you something. And they want to build that portfolio. They're going to build it during the crash. And that is what you need to do. We do not need institutions owning all of the homes. We need you owning all of the homes and being good landlords, good human beings. This is very serious, and this is why I want to educate the masses and get them ready for this. Guys, Wall Street's walking away from buying real estate right now and accumulating cash, and that is what you should be doing right now. I've got faith in you, and you have the ability to start thinking not only clearer, but broader, and start thinking like the big money, because the big money, they ain't running out to go buy a house because they're afraid they're not going to be able to afford it soon. And that's what you should be thinking too. You should be on the same level as the big money. All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.